Bastard. https://media.discord.app.net/attachments/8583320564380467330/8.
Is that like a flying cat? Thank you. Thank you for this. Where was I? Want to read this? Want to read Aristotle? Look at this shit. Do you want to read this? Tell me. Since we're seeking this knowledge, we must inquire of what kind are the causes and the principles, the knowledge of which is wisdom. If one were to take the notions we have about the wise man, this might perhaps make the answer more evident. We suppose first, then, that the wise man knows all things, as far as possible, although he has not knowledge of each of them in detail. Secondly, that he who can learn things that are difficult and not easy for man to know is wise, since perception is common to all, and therefore easy and no mark of wisdom. Again, that... Tell me if you're still here, otherwise I won't bother to read out loud.
The only Che I respect is Chesterton.
Hi, the only Chesterton. Who's Chesterton? Hi. Who's Chesterton? Hmm. Hmm. Okay. This is interesting. Hmm. Okay, well, I could have a look at this afterwards, I guess. Jay, are you still here? Do you want to talk about stuff? What's this little crown? You got Prime Gaming. What does that mean? You got a free mensual subscription to a Twitch canal. Okay. This is interesting. You want me to discuss stuff or not? If you want to, I will. But otherwise, I won't.
He was a distributist.
Oh, hi. Okay. Okay, he's a distributist. Really? I don't even know about that either. But so you like this? Why are they not talk about the distributism? All we're seeing is this stuff here. You wanna talk about stuff? You wanna tell me more about you? You want me to tell more about my stuff? Just tell me. I'm not very well read, I'm sorry to say. World's productive assets should be widely owned rather than you know. Favoring economic mechanisms such as cooperatives, member-owned mutual organizations, as well as small businesses and large-scale competition law reforms. Okay. I should really learn this stuff. What's this stuff mutualist? Property is a fundamental right. Means of protection should be spread as widely as possible rather than being centralized in the control of the state, a few individuals, or corporations. Therefore, distributism advocates a society marked by widespread property ownership. Okay. Oh yeah.
The American Solidarity Party is practically a distributist party in the USA.
I've never even heard of that. So you're into that stuff, I guess. Is that what you're saying? Are you into this distributism? I I just it kind of is still strikes me as having kind of the issue of social. I just don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's actually necessary to have. Well, I agree they should get rid of this thing, right? Concentration of power. But the point is that you don't really need to have like everybody to have everybody own stuff. I don't think it matters to yeah, like this idea of like owning your stuff and like owning the means of production and
Democracy is has
deciding what to
been.
do. Okay. Like I would say that you know I don't think it matters who owns like the means of production or whatnot. I think it doesn't actually affect people's lives, really. Like people who, it's not like it radically changes people's lives to live like in a worker cooperative or something. To me, it's not like I really care whether I somehow own a company I work for or not. To me, what matters is how much I work and how much I earn. So I don't really care about this shit. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, no. Overall, like, it kind of has aspects that I like, but um. So anyway, what I support is a market economy, like like
At
distributism,
Charles
but
Blesage, you stopped believing in democracy the day you became mod, you authoritarian bitch.
but on the other hand, I I'm completely fine with the way the system works, with having big corporations, with not having everybody own like stuff.
Hello.
What? Hello, Rubimax. Hi. Um, I'm just looking at the distributism here. Um, so I'm just saying that I don't actually care whether a person distributism is sort of about having market economies, but with kind of everybody,
How
it's
are
sort of like
you?
socialism. I'm
But
alright
why not a king or monarch that would preserve the individual freedom?
because it's absurd. Why a king or a monarch? It's just completely. I don't want a fucking king. I would
At
like
BSTNSTRNG95, you are right.
I would fucking kill the king. I'd like be no. I would just plot to overthrow it. Like I don't want a fucking king. No way. No way. Um.
At
Yeah.
Charles Blesage, I'm always right.
So what I would want is yeah, I just want more fairness in income and wealth, and I don't really care about. So what I want is a basic income and an income cap and wealth cap, but I don't care about ownership of the production. So, and I don't care about small production over capitalistic mass production. See, so yeah, it promotes a society of artisans and culture. This is actually less efficient. Um, so this is, uh, yeah, it favors a, yeah, it doesn't necessarily favor technological regression, but rather more local ownership of factories and industrial centers, local producing instead of being mass produced overseas. I disagree with this. It's less efficient. It's less. This is. I don't like this. I don't like this. Um. Some of them are anarchists, most of them are not. Yeah. I'm not pro distributism. I don't think this is as useful. I think UBI is much. Um.
What are we discussing?
Well, there's this person that generic world up early in the chat that brought up saying that like distributism and explained that writer G.K. Chesterton supported distributism and sort of presented it, and
I
the
stopped thinking about
the
dictatorship when
American
I saw
Solidarity
Orban.
Party, the American Solidarity Party, um, apparently is a sort of somewhat distributist party. So this is what I'm now looking at, right? So influence, yeah. Okay, so distributism does try to influence like C.F. Schumacher. Okay.
So
Yeah,
many
I'm
mods
not,
in
I'm
here.
not, I'm not, I'm not into
I
that.
feel like I went back to a life of peasantry.
Why? There are lots of mods in peasantry. Oh, because oh no, okay, I get it. Because before you felt special when I made you mod, and now that everybody's a mod, you don't feel special anymore. I get it. I get it.
Yes, too many mods.
No, I think everybody should be mod. You can fight. You can have mod wars.
I don't feel privileged anymore.
Yeah. So they do not favor
At
socialism.
Charles Age, pick a number between 1 and 10.
So interestingly, here, for instance, they do not distributives beliefs in a society that's as self-reliant as possible.
8.
Some may advocate that families and charitable
At
organizations ought
Thanathanal
to provide
Unmod
an
at
alternative
Charles Age.
to social security as a means of advancing the principles of subsidiarity. Um, However, many distributives reject the idea of eliminating social security. Yeah, so yeah. Distributives put a great emphasis on the principle of subsidiarity. This principle holds that no larger unit, whether social, economic, or political, should perform a function which
Unmod
can be
at
performed by a smaller unit.
BSTNSTRNG95.
In Quadragesimo Anno Pope Pius XI provide the classical statement of the principle, just as it is gravely wrong to take from individuals what they can accomplish by their own initiative and industry and give it to the community, so it is also injustice at the same time grave evil and disturbance of right order to assign to a greater and higher association what less than subordinate organizations can do. Okay, thus any activity of production which distributism holds to be the most important part of any economy ought to be performed by the smallest possible unit. This helps supports distributism arguments that the smallest units, families if possible, ought to be in control of the means of production, rather large units typical of modern economy. This would be much. It would tank the economy. I. Mm. And yeah, they're basing on this like family, and they want like economic actors to be.
Can you rate an Antifa stream?
Uh, so it's weird. So they want like family to be owners. They want families to be owners of productive property. Yeah, so this is weird shit. Yeah. And this is why we're getting all this antitrust legislation as well.
Antifa is good for the left wing.
This is why we get all this antitrust shit that is actually not even necessary. Um, yeah. I can rate an Antifa stream if you want. But what do you think of this distributism stuff? They want to here the guild. This is interesting. Early distributists wanted to return to some kind of guild. Um, they say labor unions don't form guilds because they promote class interests and class struggles, whereas guilds are mixed class syndicates composed of both employers and employees cooperating for mutual benefit, thereby promoting class collaboration. Yeah. Association of artisans and merchants who oversee the practice of their craft trade in a particular area. These types of guilds formed as organizations of tradesmen belonging to a professional association, trade union, cartel, and a secret society.
Download Fortnite.
Okay. Okay. Guilds gave rise to the first universities, originated as guilds of students. Oh, this is interesting. What does it do? Typically, the key privilege was that only guild members were allowed to sell their goods or practice their skill within the city. There might be controls on minimum or maximum prices, hours of trading, numbers of apprentices, and many other things, as well as reducing free competition, but sometimes maintaining a good quality of work. Often these rules made it difficult or impossible for women immigrants to the city and non-Christians to run businesses, work, and trade. Okay. Okay, so there were guilds already in in ancient Iraq. This is interesting. Collegium, type of guild in Roman times. Interesting.
At the STNSTRNG95 are you heterocurious?
So there's the guilds in the Middle Ages. Craftsmen united to protect their common interests. Okay. In England after the Norman conquest. Incorporated societies of merchants, each town or city holding exclusive rights of doing business there. Yeah, so this guild stuff is funny. Follow the guilds. Okay, Ogilvy argues that guilds negatively affected quality, skills, and innovation. What economists now call rent-seeking, they imposed deadweight losses on the economy. Ogilvy argues they generated limited positive externalities, and notes the industry began to flourish only after the guilds faded away. Guilds persisted over the centuries because they redistributed resources to politically powerful merchants. On the other hand, Ogilvy agrees guilds created social capital of shared norms, common information, mutual sanctions, and collective political action. Social capital benefited guild members even as it arguably hurt outsiders. Yeah, I'm not really pro-guilds. I'm not really sort of pro-union either. The guild system became a target of much criticism toward the end of the 18th century and the beginning of the 19th century. Critics argued that they hindered free trade and technological innovation, technology transfer, and business development. According to several accounts at this time, guilds became increasingly involved in simple territorial struggles against each other and against free practitioners of their arts. Two of the most outspoken critics of the guild system were Jean-Jacques Rousseau and Adam Smith. And all over Europe, a tendency to oppose government control over trades in favor of a laissez-faire free market systems grew rapidly and made its way into the political and legal systems. Many people who participated in the French Revolution saw guilds as the last remnant of feudalism. The Dalat Law of 2 March 1791 suppressed the guilds in France. In 1803, the Napoleonic Code banned any coalition of workmen whatsoever. Smith wrote in The Wealth of Nations, "It is to prevent this reduction of price, and consequently of wages or profit, by restraining that free competition which will certainly occasion it, that all corporations and the greater part of corporation laws have been established, and when any particular class of artificers or traders thought proper to act as a corporation without a charter, such adulterine guilds, as they're called, were not always disfranchised upon that account, but obliged to fine annually to the king for permission to exercise their reserved privileges." Karl Marx in his Communist Manifesto also criticized the guild system for its rigid gradation of social rank and the relation of oppressor-oppressed entailed by the system. It was the 18th and 19th centuries that saw the beginning of the low regard in which some people hold the guilds to this day. In part due to their own inability to control unruly corporate behavior, the tide of public opinion turned against the guilds. Because of industrialization and modernization of the trade and industry, and the rise of powerful nation-states that could directly issue patent and copyright protection, often revealing the trade secrets, the guild's powers faded. After the French Revolution, they gradually fell in most European nations over the course of the 19th century, as the guild system was disbanded and replaced by laws that promoted free trade. As a consequence of the decline of the guilds, many former handicraft workers were forced to seek employment in the emerging manufacturing industries, using not closely guarded techniques formally protected by guilds, but rather standardized methods controlled by corporations. Interest in the medieval guild system was revived during the late 19th century among far-right circles. Fascism in Italy, among other countries, implemented corporatism, operating at the national rather than the city level, to try to imitate the corporatism of the Middle Ages. Okay. You wanna, anybody still here? I never know what to do to make people stay. I feel that people always, they come and go. I'm not able to keep people. And there's such a huge fucking lag, like it says I've got 2 viewers. What's this?
Yes.
Alright. You wanna go
Because
read?
I play Fortnite? I always stay.
um, Yeah, this guild stuff is interesting.
At BSTNSTRNG95 of course because you play Fortnite.
It's weird. Politics, a couple hours ago, it had like 46 viewers. Now it has 1.3 thousand viewers. Where am I? Here we go. Look at this shit. 900. This is why there's so many viewers. Look at this shit. 938 viewers here at January 6th Commission. Do you want me to look at
Charles Blissage or Warped.
NFL stream?
We should raid.
I'm mad. I don't want to do this.
With hashtag Stop Islam.
You want to raid? You want to raid that?
Service. Can you give the committee a sense of
Then you're gonna be gone.
comparing those
What is
two
this?
and experiences with what you experienced on?
I'm a kind God, the best God you've ever known. Better
At
than all the
Charles
other gods.
Blissage Stop a
Back when I was
Religion.
in Iraq and sometime on a convoy mission to provide mutual support or taking care packages, whatnot, to my other units and detachment, whatnot.
How the fuck are there
We
970 viewers?
we
on
went
this shit?
to roadside bomb infested IED, whatnot, convoys, whatnot, and my fear were minimal that around that time. It was not as constant. I know we knew at that time that
I just hope
we
that
could
there isn't a notification. here.
go
Only
over,
Islam.
run over an IED, and that was it. But at least we knew that we were in a combat zone. Here in our
Okay,
country,
so now I don't even know how this is
capital,
working.
we are being attacked. Not once, but
This is
multiple times.
the process
Yeah.
of followers only.
Can you pull the
chat.
microphone to you just a
Sorry.
little bit?
That's a
Not
mic-
only
no, it's a
we were
follower only
attacked
chat. This is the pain. I'm gonna
one
unraid.
time, but it was multiple
How
times
do I unraid?
over and over. Different
Crap,
people.
my chat got
they
destroyed.
hit us, and then they
I
got
unraid?
tired of hitting us.
Lion Leonidas. Yeah.
Somebody else rotating in and out. And as
How do I
like
unraid?
Sleepy Spartans.
I said, we were at the lowest entrance tunnel, and we didn't have a chance to rotate
I can't
until
unraid.
later on, like after
Shit.
an hour and a half later.
This is boring.
So whoever was there, we were fighting for our life. We were fighting to protect all of you. In our mind, that time at that entrance, that was it. That was the point of breach, and we
Why
were
does
not
this-
letting
Why
them
does
in.
this guy have
They-
1,000
they-
followers?
Tried to
can't even
convert us.
unraid.
They tried to
fucking do
persuade
We
us
can't
to
talk.
let them in, yelling.
I
And
can't do
then once they
anything.
saw that we
How
were
do I do
not
this shit?
doing that,
There's on one end of the spectrum you have like the
How
Trump
do I
people
stop
that
it?
think
Can you
that
how do I stop it?
you know they have like a spectrum of theories ranging from well actually it was Antifa that broke through trying to make Trump look bad.
Because it's
And then,
followers
you know,
only
on the other
mode.
end you have they were there, but
Yeah,
it
but
wasn't
how
that
do I
big of a deal. It
unraid?
was basically like a tourist event, is what like
don't know how to
Representative
unraid.
Gosar said. But then you also have
Oh,
like
here we go.
some people on the left that
Okay.
are that remain convinced to this day
There we
that the
go.
Capitol Police that were there that day, all of them just let them in.
Okay.
They just let the Trump supporters
Okay,
in. They
good.
just let these insurrectionists into the Capitol.
Well, what do you think?
You
of
have
this?
to restart
Just say
your stream.
Silly shit like that.
Why? Why do I have to restart? No, it's
Talked about
iron rated.
like you've never heard before. And you talked about sharing comments
Oh, we got one. There he is. Gabagool Watcher. Okay.
as well.
So the people that are testifying like in front of Congress right now, you think that they just let him in? Is that what you're is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
As an African American law enforcement officer, can you give us this
I don't know
committee
what
and
he's
those
saying
who
there.
are watching,
What would you say? What do you
how
think
you
about?
felt defending the
What do you
Capitol
think is going
on
on?
that day, being called that and seeing the
This is a
symbols
bit too slow,
of the Confederacy
and I'm
going
scared
through the
because this
Capitol
is
at the same time.
the problem with this is that it's not an Antifa stream.
Yes.
I don't know, and you can't comment. This is sort of it's not great. It's not great. How about this stuff? How about that? Birthday bash no. Agenda 21 with a totalitarian dictator named Gavin Newsom. I want to have a look at that. Are you hearing me?
We get some articles that were popping out right at us, and we're going to be showing some of these things here in just a right.
Wait, you're not. Do I have? Yeah, I do. Why do I have to